Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we're ready. Okay,
Yes.
we're going.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Welcome back to the Hub. We're excited to have our second Coaches Roundtable, our third overall roundtable. Even though, shout out to Tony Butler, we are at a rectangular table. We have an esteemed group of coaches. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. We'll go in order of, you want to go by height? You want to go by age? What do you want to do, Jonas?
I think we should go by
Good looks.
By good looks.
Good
yeah.
looks.
Start with
Okay,
Jay.
so I'm going to go first.
Right.
Doing good looks.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jay.
Hi, I'm Jay DeMaestri. I'm the boys coach over at Redwood. Been there. I'm starting my 7th year.
And where did you grow up and where'd you go to high school?
Grew up in Mill Valley. Went to TAM. Again, so me and one of the other guests, he always allowed me to come to his summer camps over at Branson. And we've been connected for quite a long time. But yeah, local, born and raised.
And were you a basketball player, Jay? Were you a pretty good basketball player? These are leading questions.
Yeah, a little bit. Played at TAM. I did the old school 1 year freshman, 1 year JV, 2 years of varsity. Played 2 years at Monterey, transferred out to University of Hawaii Hilo, and was fortunate enough to play a couple years overseas.
And I've heard that you were quite the player.
Yeah, that was all right.
Let's go to another great coach, great player, who has less hair but is equally as attractive.
Zach Borello, varsity girls coach at Redwood. Going into my 5th year. Played last night. Great win. We're leading the season, so it was a good start.
And where did you grow up and where did you go to high school?
I grew up about 3 minutes from here, Fairfax. Went to Drake, now Archie Williams. Played 1 year freshman, 3 years varsity. Started as a sophomore. Beat the guy to my left a couple times.
Yes, you did.
And then after I got out of high school, that's when they got good. But yeah, I had the pleasure of playing for Doug Janellen at Drake.
And some of your teammates at Drake, people might know them like Alex Purple.
Yeah, he's pretty famous.
Good.
Pretty good.
He was had a good squad.
Yeah, Brendan Lang,
Yep.
Peter Elliott, Alex Pribble, Brian Fleming.
Yeah.
Still a lot of guys I talk to this day, so it's
Awesome.
it's fun. It's fun sitting about 3 minutes from here.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right, well, welcome.
And the Pribble cut is still the go-to play, right? Under 3 seconds.
The classic.
The Pribble cut.
I just put that in.
I was in the game.
You were in the game. Yeah.
We just put that in yesterday.
It's an awesome play.
Really, MC's gonna draw that one up?
You gotta go with it.
Poetic justice.
You gotta have
Yeah,
some
seriously.
friendly officiating.
That's still on YouTube
Well,
somewhere.
okay, so that
you
would
can find
Larry
that.
Moyer.
You never saw anything.
Okay, our last guest, last but not least, go ahead, Jonas.
Okay, Jonas Honick. I coached for quite some time at Branson. Before that, I was in the East Coast at a boarding school called Choate. I grew up in Western Pennsylvania, not too far from the guy who was the prototype point guard or guard in those days was George Carl. He grew up in Penn Hills, and he was a couple years older than I am, but like everybody wanted to play the way George Carl did, right? A little crazy and dive on the floor, take the charge, make the extra pass, and be vocal. And then from there, I went to Harvard. I played at Harvard for 4 years, and I played for Sat Sanders, who's a Hall of Fame Boston Celtics 16, and Mike Jarvis, who had a really good career in Division I. Yeah, really both were really good coaches.
Boston College, right?
Boston University.
BU?
Yeah, he was there first, and then he actually was at George Washington.
That's right.
And St. John's for a short period of time.
I was gonna send you this. So you were contemporaries with Don Nelson.
Yes.
You were friends with Nelly. I remember.
Yes.
I remember, like at our Branson camps,
Yeah.
Nelly used to come around. I think there was a thing I saw. Somebody was telling a funny story. I think Mitch Richmond was telling a story that the Warriors were playing somebody when Nelly was their coach, and Nelly told him it was Olden Polonies. They were playing against Olden Polonies, and he said, I think it was like Mike Schreck or somebody. You got to foul it, kind of like you told me
Yeah.
when we played Darnell. Like you got to foul it.
Probably
Every
where I
time you
got
touch
the
it.
idea.
So the guy didn't foul Olden Polonies. Polonies goes for 30, and the next day at practice, Nelly had this guy run straight for 45 minutes, and then after practice, he cut him.
I was going to say probably cut him. Yeah.
But he had him run before he cut him.
I won't say it, but what a, ooh, that's just, Nelly had that.
That's your
You guys
brain
got
Nelly. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It happens.
awesome to have you guys here. Thank you for joining us here at the hub. Okay, so Zach, you may have mentioned this. You guys got a nice win last night, so we're firmly into the season now. We're still early, but we're firmly approaching. And now regular season, we've been practicing for a couple weeks. How do you guys approach the season? Do you look at it like it's 3 seasons? You know, you got a preseason, you got league, and you got postseason. Do you just look at it as one big massive game, so you take it one game at a time? How do you approach it? How do you want your kids to approach it?
I think it's one season. I had a conversation with my point guard, Drew Schultz, the other day, and she's like, how do we prepare for...
Take this. Keep going.
How do you prepare for different opponents, right? San Roan Valley versus San Marin. And I think you have to do it the exact same way.
Yeah.
I don't think you can prepare any differently, because I think if you prepare differently, then your kids will prepare differently. And if you kind of go, hey, we're just going to roll the balls out and potentially maybe win tonight, then they might relax. And you can't have kids relax. You only get 26 guaranteed games. And I think just making every single night the same preparation, it's also consistency for the kids. And I think with the consistency with the kids, the better performance you're going to get. The more consistent we're going to get. We always talk about as coaches, we want our players to be as consistent as possible, right?
Sure.
So I think that's the biggest thing, is just treating it as one big season. Obviously, you might have a league game, and then you might have a non-league game in back-to-back days, Friday and Saturday. We went to a single round robin 2 years ago, and everybody said, hey, we're going to not have Saturday games. Well, we play every Saturday in January and February.
Right.
So just preparing the same way every single night, I think is the best way we take it and we approach it.
I agree fully, because I believe it's a process. It's from November, whatever it was, 2nd this year, happened to be November 2nd. It's from November 2nd till
Hopefully March.
the day you're done, exactly.
Yeah.
And I was in a weird little spot this year where I usually at Redwood have a couple like football or water polo players, and this year just happens to be that we had a handful of significant players, not like not players that are, you know, maybe like 15, 14, 13, more like 8, 7, 6.
Yeah.
And so practices for the first, you know, couple weeks, they were a grind. But as coaches, we kind of said, all right, here's the positive. We got guys that are going to get reps now, right?
Sure.
And they're going to get reps that maybe they would not get if we were fully loaded day one. And so, you know, it's the standard is always set. It's the same standard. It doesn't matter if you're number 1 on the depth chart or number 15 or whatever it is. So I thought it was a really good thing. Again, some of my guys got a little, let's say, upset about maybe how the level of practice was, but us as coaches, me, Tom, Jeff, we always held the standard. It doesn't matter who you are. You know, we gotta make sure we keep moving, and it's like a wheel, and the wheel's gonna stop rolling at some point.
Yep.
And that's how I've always kind of viewed a season.
That's great. Yeah, I know. Congratulations on finally getting your team back.
Yeah, appreciate
Water
it.
polo
And,
and football,
water
guys.
polo, yeah. Shout out to water
football,
polo.
right, yeah.
Football made a nice little run, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have everybody on Monday night. That's good.
All right. So Jonas, you're a few years removed from this, but you
Yeah.
did it for many years. How would you approach the season? This
Well,
stage?
it was a little different
Give us
because.
your secrets.
Well, no, so it was
Tell
different
us the answer,
because.
Jonas.
Got a notepad ready.
Well, it was different mainly because you knew what division you were in, and then you knew who your opponents
Yeah.
were, and then you also knew who you were going to play against in the postseason. So I think our last year in 2008, Oliver McNally's last year, I knew we had to get through a couple big kids, and so day one, right?
You're prepping for that.
We're prepping for that because we kind of figured we'll be in the D1 playoffs. D3, D5 get playoffs. Sorry. And so like we practice double teaming the post and rotating out and getting the ball in their hands. And you know, by the end of the year, we were really pretty good about that. The other thing you had to do back in those days, and I'm not sure how I would play that now. you wanted to make sure you got as high a seed as possible. So it was really important to be strategic in your preseason scheduling, because you wanted to schedule teams in your division head to head, because head to head was always the number one. But now, like, I still think you sort of divide it up into 3 sections. That doesn't mean your standards change.
Yeah.
But what do you want to get out of the pre-league, and who do you want to play? And now you can actually, you can play anybody now, and that's willing to play you. You don't have to stay in your school size, which is kind of good, right? And then league is the league, and then after that it's a North Coast section and NorCal run. But yeah.
So one thing to add on to that, so I totally agree. And again, I think if you talk to 100 coaches, they would have a different answer, a different way to go about that. And it's like, so I'm just using me as an example over at Redwood. So you got to get a name, right? You got to get a resume, right?
Yeah.
So I would like my first 1 or 2 years, I'd reach out to these schools that it's like, so again, like a San Ramon is always in our division, a Campo Lindo. To be nice, they blow you off. They don't even, sometimes they won't even get back to you. And so you have to build a resume, to now get these coaches to reach out. But I've always been a fan of, play, in my opinion, you go preseason, you might take some losses, you might take some L's, but you go play the best competition that you can possibly get. And then that, in theory, should set you guys, or set your team up for, that long playoff push, instead of like, again, some coaches call it stacking wins, all that. Especially now, like Jonas said, it's kind of a toss. You don't know.
Yeah.
Back in the day when me, Zach, were going to high school and Jonas was coaching, you could kind of be like, okay, you're playing X, Y, and Z. When now it's, kind of a whole, and again, I'll use me as last year. It's like we went D1 NCS and we were playing above our division. But I've always been one, it's like, don't get me wrong, I want to win an NCS title, but I want to win one. I want to win like I think if we were in D2 last year with my team, we probably mow down the competition. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying NCS. But, we were playing D1, we were treading water, and we had a good team. But, I thought
you could win the league and then have a road game in NCS.
100%.
Being played up. And it's like,
That happened to me last year.
Yeah.
In NorCal as well, right?
Yeah.
We won league, and when we got to NorCal, we were in the 6th seed, right, on the road.
So you're on the road, that sucks.
Sorry. I mean, I think it was a couple years ago when we all won NCS, right? San Domenico, Roman Catholic, Redwood, we were all on the road. We went to Vanden.
We went to Vanden. Oh. Duffy, I won't talk about it. I have to drink every time I talk about that.
I think it's an imperfect science too when it comes to scheduling.
But it is interesting.
Right.
So you two both. I mean, so Jay and Zach on your Redwood teams, you respectively both schedule really tough.
Yes.
I mean, I'm looking at both your schedules. You're playing really, really good teams. Now you both have the benefit of you have really good players. You've got a great program. So the counter to that question is, what does that do to your players' confidence? If you guys are playing, Zach, you're playing San Ramon Valley and Carondelet and all these really, really good teams, you're getting better, but you guys are let's say you lose some of those games. How do you keep your kids' confidence up?
I meet with my kids before the season starts and ask them who they want to play. And when they say we want to play Carondelet, San Ramon Valley, Acalanes, and Salesian, I say, okay,
Great.
right, let's do it. So it's the belief in the kids, right? And it's the fact that they are bought in before the game even starts, right? So if we happen to take one, then we take it out, and it is what it is. But I also think that helps with the strength of schedule in NCS rankings is if we're playing all these hard teams and we might be losing, but your NCS strength of schedule is still going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
So your ranking is going to be good. And I want to play the best. I mean, I think to be the best, you have to play the best. I think I learned it from Jonas, right? In different angles of what teams you want to play.
Yeah, so as your teams got better and more athletic over the years, when you got rid of kids like me and you started to get some real players, your schedule would get a lot tougher. Because we played tough teams back, but of course we were playing a D5 schedule.
We
So
tried to
now,
play.
so
like we
how
went
would
over
you
to
approach
Berkeley.
that?
So we would go over to Berkeley and and do that. We went up twice, I think, to Ridley back in the day, and that really helps. And then what happened was, as we got better, I'd scheduled one D5 tournament. We went up in Anderson Valley, and we had to. So you had to have a certain amount of D5 wins, and then we would go wherever we could the next week, the week after, and maybe over Christmas or something like that.
So what do you guys think of? I mean, so Max Preps now is kind of the source of truth, right? And it's, I don't know, there's mixed feelings about that. And how do you guys? Do you manage your schedule and approach to kind of maximize your Max Preps ranking? Does that play anything into the calculus? Kind of hit what it is.
I don't. And maybe I'm an idiot, which is fine because I've been called worse. But again, I'm going to go back to the last kind of question. And
Jay and I have a lot in common.
well, like I said, I've known him for a long time. But no, I kind of, again, with me being 7 years in, and I've had some success, and my teams have represented Redwood in a positive way. We get asked to these tournaments that we're playing teams that sometimes are, people would say, are out of our depth. A couple years ago, I think it was Jake Vasquez's junior year, we're playing Clovis West at this showcase, and they were, Max Preps, currently ranked 13th in the state, and we beat them. And so, me and my coach, we had a great game plan. Kids, it was like the perfect storm of the perfect coach's game plan.
Kids executed.
Perfect execution. Yeah. Jake Vasquez, we moved him to taking the ball out, and so every time the ball would bounce around, he'd just walk around and like get the ball, and like we had the lead and kill the clock. Yeah. And then one time somebody, a kid from the other team, threw the ball to him to take it out as they were trying to come back, and he just kind of let it go and was like looking around. Everything was the perfect game plan. And so I've always went off, I want to be the best, play the best. Yeah. Again, we're a D2 school, so we're bigger, and it doesn't matter what size of school. Again, there's Archie, I think, is going to be phenomenal this year. I think MC is going to be phenomenal. Branson's always Branson. Yeah. And they're smaller schools, but it's like you got to go out, you got to play somebody, especially if you want to do something special. I know.
Well, and when you do that, it's a measuring stick also for your players. You say, look, okay, you might be good in the county. Let's go over to the East Bay, right?
Oh yeah.
Or even the South Bay.
Let's go see the long, athletic guards that are 6'6".
And that's your measuring stick. You say, okay, if you really want these goals that you say you want, this is who you have to get. Yep. And this is how good you have to
be. Getting your players comfortable with being uncomfortable, not just in who they're playing, but even where they're playing. Like playing in a hostile environment. I think that's hostile being, big crowd yelling at you, whatever, uncomfortable. Maybe it's a long ride. That pays such dividends. So, I think that was
us last year at Open Tech. It's small, rich gym, but that thing was packed to the gills, and they were loud. Everybody, it was respectful as you could ever imagine, but loud and just right, and they're right there. Yeah, they're just right, and I love that.
And they probably
because I went to TAM, so I'm used to on top of you. Yes. So I loved it.
Yes, you are. All right, Zach. New topic. How do you balance player development with winning games? Because you seem to strike a nice balance of doing that. You're developing great players and you're winning, but how do you prioritize player development versus winning games as a coach?
Practice planning, time of the year, what's the schedule look like for the week? Are we preparing for a team? Do we have 45 minutes for skill development? We had a meeting last night after our game about, hey, let's get the bigs working together for 10 minutes, guards for 10 minutes, and then maybe some other players getting some shots up for 10 minutes, because we have kind of a quieter week this week. So just striking the balance with practice finding, I think, is huge. I think asking the kids, like, right, what's your jump shot feeling like? How you feeling? Like, maybe we can do a 4-man shell for 10 minutes versus 15 minutes today, or whatever it might be. So just striking the balance between making sure that they're feeling good and feeling comfortable about it, and just making the conversation there.
Yeah, that's great. I have a question. So all of you have coached college players. You know, you, Jay, you had a guy last year who we're now watching on TV. So to what degree does, like, what would benefit teaching in college versus what would help your Redwood team? How do you balance that? Like when you're coaching a kid who's going to play in college, who has aspirations. How do you, and I'm curious for your perspective too, when you had Oliver and other guys who had to play college ball, like, to what degree are you preparing them to play at the next level versus, okay, we got to beat university tomorrow, so here's what I need you to do against university. And maybe that's not exactly what you're going to do next year at Harvard, but
I'm up.
you're a coach
Yeah,
on the school.
I don't know.
Then
if
you answer about
I don't know if you
We'll do.
actually do anything different.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what you're really doing is you're trying to prepare your best player to be a good decision maker, which will carry over. I mean, learning how to be a good decision maker in high school is really important. Learning how to push through fatigue in high school is really important. Learning how to lead a team in high school will carry over. So the demands that you are asking of your best player should be able to carry over and get them ready for college. And that means also demands in practice. Now, what do I mean by that? Like, make sure you're there on time. Make sure that you're going hard every drill. Make sure that that it's not a habit to cut corners. Like Nicky Sutton of all people, right? Part of the reason why, he walks on at Duke. There are lots of reasons why, but part of the reason why he walked on is that he understood the drill, big picture drill. Like, yeah, you run hard in your sprints. I mean, I think he was only second to J.J. Redick in their shuttle drill, right? Wow. So, I mean, that was impressive.
Who's that?
And he defended, right? He understood that. Okay, all they want me to do is walk on is go out there and defend and try to, make their starters look bad in practice who might be cutting corners that day because they are big time, 5-star recruits. And so I think that I think if you do it right and you are teaching all your players really how to play the game and make good decisions and understand game situations, I think it just carries over.
My turn. So obviously last year, very odd situation. Got a transfer. Everybody knows who he is. And he came in. So real quick story before I answer the question. So the first time I heard that the transfer was first of all complete and he was enrolled in Redwood, obviously then he snaps a text off to me asking to get shots up. Meet you at the gym at 6. So I go down there. He was really, really, really good friends with a bunch of my players, Noah Tanaka, Brendan Woodley, all that. And so like all of them are in the team room. We're just kind of talking. They're gonna get shots up on the shooting machine. All putting their shoes on, and Noah Tanaka, who was a senior last year for me, he goes, "Hey, new guy, go set the gun up," and the gun is the shooting machine. And so in my head, in the moment, I'm thinking, well, this. I was like, TT's going to Cal. He's already set up. He's, basically staring down Player of the Year, all that. And I kind of was shocked. And then TT like sped up, laced his shoes up, hopped up, went out, set it up, came back in, said, "Hey, it's ready, let's go." And that was the first time, because I knew who he was, I didn't know who he was, if that makes sense. And that was I personally, I couldn't believe it, because I don't think I was that good of a person when I was in high school to do that. And when he did that, I was like, well, now this is different.
So I've heard that about TT, and I've heard that about a good number of players who have been really successful in high school and then went on to college. Good players, better people.
Yeah, and that's the difference. It's like it's the stereotypical, like, you're the good athlete, so you got to be the kind of dick. But it's like it's the ones that are not. Like, I mean, Jace was a great person.
Yeah.
Jake Vasquez was a great person, and they're all. And you look at, let's use those three. One's playing D1 Notre Dame lacrosse, one's at Colorado State, and the other's at Cal. And they were not on the court. Sure, again, it's
right.
I was a player, right? I always would flip into a different type of person, but it's the off the court. It's like there's no reason to keep that stereotype going, in my opinion. But it was a pleasure.
Yeah.
And looking at Jokic and Wembanyama, and it's sort of like TT, they're inclusive guys.
Yeah.
In other words, well,
absolutely.
You can come into my world,
Yes.
right? Both on and off the court. And
Steph.
Yeah, welcome to my world.
Teammates love him.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just so important. And you have to have a lot of confidence to do that.
Yeah. I mean, there's again, because TT knew, it's like he knew that he is this good, and it's like, why alienate one or two or three or four or the entire team just because of that? And it's I mean, like I said, I was shocked when that whole thing happened, but yeah. And then coaching him last year, it was like, again, it was last high school year. I told him from the gate, it was like, my job is to get you to wherever you're going, unhurt, uninjured, everything.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a coach where if we play certain teams that we just know, we're just better than. I tell my starters, I was like, you got one quarter, do whatever you're gonna do,
right.
but you're done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then shout out to my boy Timmy Morgan, because he always says it. He's like, I helped TT with 5 points.
Yeah, exactly.
He only played 8 minutes.
He played 4 minutes. But that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
And to piggyback on Jonas, right? I don't think anything is different between high school and college. I think we're preparing them for that with practice planning, film, weight room, the whole nine, right? I think that's part of the whole preparation. So the second they walk into a college, it's not unknown, right? The intensity of practice, the attention to details, like all that stuff goes into place. So then when they get to college, this isn't a shock and awe on day one, right? Conditioning, right? What it takes in the off season, getting shots up in the morning, right? Kitty White's a great example for that for me right now, right? She just signed a Cal State Monterey last night, or yesterday. So she's in the gym every morning getting shots up, right? She's preparing her teammates for greatness, but she's inclusive as well, right? She brings everybody into the greatness, which makes everybody around her great, right? And she's just one of many examples.
Especially in R3 programs, I can guarantee that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I was around.
If you can't make it here, you can't make it there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You want some water?
Water, what's that? Yeah, Carly Amborn played for me last year. Played at Stanford. It was the same kind of kid.
Carly?
She's getting a few. They're playing Lehigh right now. I bet she gets in that game. Yeah. She's getting some minutes, but
That's
physically.
Carly Grayson right now?
Carly Grayson right
Can
now.
we get this on the TV?
Yeah, I know. I wish on some ACC5 network or something.
Yeah, right.
It's interesting actually.
Grayson's over there?
Grayson's at Lehigh.
She's at Lehigh. They're playing Stanford right now.
Nice.
We went to a practice, and it was awesome to watch the practice. But it's interesting. Carly's a great shooter. And this is a message for all the kids out there. Like, scoring is great, and she can score. What will get her minutes is like
Everything else.
Everything else, because everybody can shoot. Now she's really good, and she's going to get minutes eventually. I know it. She's got to get bigger, stronger. She knows that. But even just defending screens, like being as KK calls it, being a screen magnet is not good, right? So if you keep running into screens, that's an issue. You got to figure out if you're shooting the gap or if you're trailing, you got to fight over, and that takes strength, and it just also takes reps.
Yeah, but I was just about to say the value in every single repetition is so important, right?
Yeah.
Kids can't take reps off, right?
Right.
If you're in four-man shell or you're trying to get under a ball screen, you get hit on it, that's an important rep.
Yep.
And so I think we've been really emphasizing that the last 3 weeks is if you're on the floor, lock in, make it a good repetition, and then when you're off, cheer for your teammates, right? Get a breather real quick and then hop back in. Right?
All right, so to that point, let's talk about practice for a second. And I can't wait to get to Jonas.
That's
It's
what we're-
non-negotiable.
That's what we're doing. We're talking about practice.
We're talking about practice.
Okay.
I did that for you.
The game I love.
You want to do it to your Jim Mora? Playoffs.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Jay and Zach,
Play the game to win.
you guys have a huddle. You have a huddle camera up at the Redwood gym. Are you guys videoing?
Practices on video.
Yeah, we can
that's
come
good.
up. Yeah, we can do it.
Thank you.
Are you videoing practices? And are you watching them?
Sometimes. It depends on what we're doing. It depends on, all right, we're going to go 5-on-5 live for a 5-minute segment, and I really want to watch it. So, yeah, maybe I'll film that. Or I'll film the whole practice, right, because I don't want to turn it on and off.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll watch that part, but maybe I'll need to watch the other parts of it. But we don't film every practice, but there are certain situations where we have turned the camera on and watching stuff. Right, I want to see, am I seeing this actually in four-man shell where you can't tell I like four-man shell. Can't tell, are they actually on the split line or am I in a bad angle where I'm coaching? Can I see from the film? I just want to double check. Right. Are my coaches seeing the same stuff? So there's value to it for sure.
Kids are busy.
Yeah.
Did you video
Not
practices?
practices. No. We did it prolific.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sure.
And I bet you guys had like statisticians and analysts.
Unbelievable. I can pull it up for you.
Yeah.
Right now.
So to what degree did that inform your guys' game plans? Like what? So the analytics at practice, like because we just talked to Brian Rooney, the Cal State East Bay men's coach. He was awesome, and he said they video every practice, they track everything. They are tracking stats on every possession. Are we getting paint touches in practice?
Prolific does the same. Yeah. I think it's, for me, for those guys, it's probably a little too much information overload, and for a lot of them, it's going to go in one ear and out the other because they're going to do their own thing. But they really believe in it. And there's value,
Sure.
I still. It's probably not fair to you, Duff. I mean,
But then stop.
But basketball's not a math problem. I mean, there's mathematics involved, right? From just pure numbers and angles and all kinds of stuff. But to me, it's still a human problem as much as it is a math problem.
You're anti-Moneyball screed?
Not necessarily. No. I mean, although I wouldn't tell my guys to be hunting getting fouled on threes.
Right.
That's
That's statistically
not
a
that
really good
anybody
play.
does.
Yeah, exactly.
But still,
Yeah.
But sometimes it's good to have information that we haven't gotten any paint touches five possessions in a row. Right? And you can show them on the film that, okay, no paint touches, 5 possessions in a row, and as a result, we really didn't get a clean look or a good shot off. And you want to know why we went 0 for 5, and they went on an 8-0 run on us. It's right there. So I mean, that stuff is really good. Right?
So to add on to that, again, not to disagree, I think that obviously I use it, obviously, analytics and then just the eye, right? So I think if you go, especially nowadays, if you go off one or the other, just strictly, like I'm just looking and I'm not looking at the numbers, or I'm just going purely off the numbers and not really looking and just like trying to plug and place guys that, so-and-so is 45% from the three-point line but can't play a lick of D. It's like, so there's, I think especially, again, high school, I mean, I can only imagine at the prep schools and at college, it's nowadays, there's probably a army of people there with their iPads, their numbers and all that. So then that's where I think it comes to the head coach, where it's, I need to be able to watch, and then somebody give you some kind of numbers on player X.
Right.
And then I see it, and it's like, all right, now let me put player Y in there and see what happens. You know what I mean? So I think it's definitely a you know, you got to try to, as best as you can, marry the both of analytics and eye and see what happens.
So what are those? Go ahead.
So this kind of reminds me the legendary Al McGuire, right?
Yeah.
Marquette.
Great coach.
He didn't look at foul shooting percentages. He only cared about foul shooting percentages late game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you know, so he sort of broke it down that way. Like, who do you trust? And of course, then he broke it down. He goes, "Give me the C student instead of the A student."
They're not overthinking it.
They're not overthinking it, right? I want the C student shooting those foul shots at the end
It's
of
just
the
a
game.
15-foot set shot.
Well, we're screwed at Branson in that case.
Yeah, right. Well, that's because of grade inflation. They're playing at C students.
See students getting A's.
That's true. Okay, now that we're on analytics, what stats matter? Or like, what stats aren't we tracking that we should? Or what do you think are the most relevant ones? So like Zach, if you're looking at like a huddle assist, breakdown report after a game.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
50-50 balls, tips,
Deflections.
deflections. It's actually funny. I had a player ask me last night if a block shot was a deflection. I said yes.
Yes.
So I can see how that there's
It's a twofer.
Yeah.
That's a fair question.
Yeah, it was 100. That's live ball turnovers versus dead ball turnovers.
Yeah.
I think are huge. I mean, a dead ball turnover, we can get back on defense. I think those three. I mean, obviously you're looking at rebounds, right? Offense, defense. But I'm probably the one that we're emphasizing the most right now, and it's actually something we're tracking in practice. Only stat we're tracking is tips and deflections. So I have an assistant coach that's dedicated to that every practice.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Coach, on the 50-50 balls, is there a way on huddle for you to filter that, or you have to do it by hand?
Yeah, dude, you gotta go watch it.
Old-
I know.
old school, yeah,
Assist
alright.
doesn't have that feature yet.
Sorry, Duffy.
Assist does have deflections, but
Yeah.
it's not.
They're
If
not
you
that
send it to assist, but
Yeah.
So
I don't send practice to assist.
I've said this before, but in 1996, I'm on the bench with the Stanford women's team, and my one job in the game was
Track
tracking
that.
deflection.
Yeah.
Like
How about challenge?
by hand.
Just offenses, not challenge shots or anything
Just
like
deflections.
that.
There were other
challenge shots.
managers tracking different
Yeah.
things. You know, did we get a ball reversal, like those things? But this was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
We were still tracking.
Yeah.
Pat Riley and Spolster are really big on challenge shots.
So that I was going to say the two we track right now in practice is deflections, but then you're contesting shots. Hand up. If it's not, then it's almost clockwork. Close out, hands down.
Yeah.
Bang. Right in the hoop.
Yeah.
All right. Come on off. We have something that we do with kids that don't do that. But yeah, it's those two for me is deflections, because those usually lead to either reset the defense or get out and run, and then if we're not contesting shots, that's a big problem.
So what are your
And boxing out.
What are your it's kind of a related question, I guess. What are your offensive non-negotiables, Jonas?
Make it
Whoa.
ugly.
Don't stay here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Take your shot.
pass. And then, no, I mean, I'm passing to these guys, and I'm
So I'll go first. So again, kind of the offense, especially the last 5 years that I've kind of went into, is it's based on moving the ball. Set your screens. And again, shout out to longtime listener Tom Poser. He always loves creating he always calls it be violent in a screen and then do something after.
Yeah.
And so ball's got to move. Now if it swings around and it's basically the whole side's cleared out, that's when we're looking for our guys to use their dribbles effectively. We don't like dribbling into traffic. Yeah, and so again, there's some learning that's still going on, and some guys that are getting yelled at probably a little bit too much. But again, that's what it is, because we want to move that ball, set a screen, create a mismatch some way. We always love like a bigger guy hitting a little guy, and nowadays when they switch, we're kind of actually taking a step back, going to the old school where, all right, let's just take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And then now, let's say they all collapse down, and now it's 3-on-1. Now I have no problem with that kick out, get a paint touch, get a post touch. Now in and out, I can never let my guys see my tape of when I played because I did not play like that.
It was
but
giving the ball to Jake or out?
in and out. Oh no. It was me jog up, look like I'm tired, and then pull up from the volleyball line. But
Do as I say, not as I do.
exactly. But it went in.
Jay, you would get kick out of how he prepared for you. We had a guy who we had a player who was coming off the bench, and we had him designated your Jay, and he was making everything from anywhere, just like a free license to shoot. And coaches were like, should we play him or not?
I've talked to multiple kids that said they were me in their scouting day, and they're like, "God, that was awesome." Yeah,
you and Chad Lehow.
But
Chad.
or
Morrison
Halverson.
scored a lot of goals.
Halverson would pull up from half court. But yeah.
Especially in that small court.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I like that. All right, Zach, offensive non-negotiables. Some more?
Similar. I can't stand over dribbling.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we see it too much. I think we see it more at the youth level. Right? Obviously, me coaching youth, and then it kind of trickles into the high school level. But over dribbling, I'm a big emphasis on the one more pass.
Yep.
Right? Don't be a ball stopper. Right? Let the ball flow through you. Off-ball movements, huge. Don't stand and watch. We're kind of going back old school to ourselves with player personnel. We shot a lot of threes last year.
Yeah.
We only made 6 last night, right, which is much different than the year before. But we're getting a lot of paint touches, so we're getting the paint touch and then the opposite kick from there, right? So
you have some really good post players, right? So that would probably inform the way that you're gonna.
Yes, we're more of an old school, back to the basket, high-low touch, But even our guards to a certain degree are getting paint touches, right? We want 2 feet the key. I'd love that. That'd be great. Yeah, whatever Dave had. But yeah, I mean, 2 feet the key, right? It's part of our warm-up. It's something it's actually, now that I think about it, it's probably something we should track too during in games. Is like how many times are we getting 2 feet in the key? I mean, you guys, paint touches. And I'm a big believer. So like so say Jay and I are at Redwood and I'm passing for him, or I'm always passing from underneath the rim, not necessarily going wing to wing. So most of the time when I'm practicing getting my shots up, I'm passing from underneath the hoop. So a paint touch or a post touch, and I was looking opposite. I think the percentages might be higher that way than maybe me going to coach over here.
Yeah.
Right? I would love to know the analytics to that stat.
Interesting thought. Yeah.
Right?
Trail up 3 all day. Trail up 3. Just give it to me.
Jay's just waiting at the volleyball line.
You would have loved 5 out, Jay.
Jay's like, hey, when you guys are done playing defense, I'll be here at the volleyball line ready to shoot.
Yeah, but we had a post touch last night. Katie had a post touch, got doubled right away, right, and hit opposite to Drew, and it was like, I mean, that's a warm up 3-pointer, right? I think, and a lot of the terminology I use, I stole from this guy, so. I mean, that's a warm up 3, right? I mean, you should be making that 8 out of 10 times, and so that's just some of the non-negotiables. But I think the more movement is created, the less thinking and the less just the more the ball moves is better, right? I mean, a second touch, right? Second touch is huge, right?
Love it. Jonas?
Go ahead.
Duffy, go.
Yeah. The over dribbling, of course, is a big problem at every level. How do you, in both in real time, but also in film, how do you emphasize the quick decision without the over dribble? Do you have a technique that's worked well? Because I'm still searching.
No, I'd love to know that actually. I don't have a super good technique. I mean, I think it's the north-south versus east-west dribbles, right? That's 5-out terminology, right?
It's so important. Again, that starts at the youth level where they go sideline to sideline as opposed to attacking the basket. You know what? Also, I think part of it is kids just play upright. They're not low enough.
It's very true.
That's 100%
And when you're upright, you're not going to get anywhere, right?
And in my opinion, I think it's it's the immediate, if they, let's say they do something exactly right, and it's a great possession, it's the immediate, like, that is what I'm talking
That's
about,
what we want.
right?
Yeah. Yes.
And then it's the immediate, because like some coaches will, if it's a bad possession, whatever, a coach will let it go. And I'm a big advocate, I've learned this from a lot of coaches, big advocate of, if player X makes a mistake, stop immediately, and you just stop them. And now again, we were all at the varsity level, so usually, like, sometimes you let a senior go or whatever. At the youth level, if you are coaching a CYO 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 A or B team, and something does not happen correctly, you stop it immediately. And you might do that for 20 minutes, and it's extremely frustrating, but it has to happen. It's like, I kind of use it's like training a dog type of thing. You gotta stop it immediately. Yeah, exactly.
Question for Coach.
Yeah.
So, when you had your elite teams, how much did you stop practice to break something down, or kind of let it go and then bring the player aside during the drill? Did you stop it for everybody? Right. I'm still working through those nuances of, like, all right, maybe let the senior, maybe her close out her feet are a little bit wrong. It's okay, and I'll just start to come over. Or do I stop practice and immediately tell everybody, inform everybody, right? Because you want the practice to flow. You don't want to stop. So how much do you stop it back then? Every second.
Yeah. I think earlier in the year, I'm sure I stopped it much more than later in the year. Later, once the technique is learned, or at least certainly has been introduced, and they kind of know what you're talking about, you can, even in the flow, or if you're scrimmaging or something like that, and there's somebody shooting a foul shot, you can then say, hey, when you post out, your technique was, your hands were down, or whatever, or if you caught the ball, instead of driving middle, you drove into traffic, where you weren't creating anything, you were just driving into help, just little things like that, and especially if the player understands exactly what you're saying, then I think you can probably call them aside and just say, hey, boom. And even on the fly. Just say.
So so back to non-negotiables, Jonas.
So
did your non-negotiables change over the years?
I think, I sent a text to this guy who's going to be a new coach in the WNBA yesterday.
No, you're talking about.
And I wrote that, and I said, because we were joking about it before, about the word flexible. So what does the word flexible mean, right? I mean, you can do whatever you want to do.
It's a flexible word.
Right. So, but it's flexible within your principles, right? And flexible with J is different from flexible with U is different from, So, like, you have to, you know what it means, but you have to then tell your guys, exactly what does it mean to be flexible. Like, I'm going to give you decision making, but within certain, my principles of how I want you guys to play.
So certain players, I mean, what I'm hearing you saying is kind of certain players have more leeway than others.
Well, I think so. I mean, I think that's probably true on all levels.
The old adage of fair, not
Absolutely.
equal.
Yeah.
Fair, not equal.
But again, if it gets over time, it can get kind of defined, and at the same time, you still have to empower those guys that you are kind of limiting a little bit. Like, you have to make sure that they have the confidence that, like, you have a shot clock now. So if a team plays you right, the wrong player in your mind is going to end up with the ball, 6 seconds or less, right? I said fewer, right?
Right.
And I was trying to go, should I go coach talk, or should I actually, should I say
Speak English.
Yeah.
speak English, right? Maybe, coach talk.
You did go to Harvard.
Yeah, I know. So I had to go to but anyway, so then you have to, if that guy's ending up with the ball, like maybe a certain left-hander for the Warriors ends up with the ball with under 6, you have to empower that guy to be able to feel confident that at least instead of what do I do with it, shoot it if you're open, and let him feel good about that.
But you, so again, when I played
Yeah.
for you, no shot clock, we held the ball a lot, but it was the principles that you had, which I still incorporate in my coaching today, were make the defense work.
Right.
So I still remember you saying, like, we dribble up, we pass the ball to the wing, and we heave up a three, even if that's our best shooter. That's a shitty shot. Versus we work the ball inside out, we get some swings, and now that same kid takes the same shot from the same spot on the floor. That's a great shot.
Right. I was never a big fan of the quick and easy, although nowadays you have to be a fan of the quick and easy. I mean, it's all part of that. Like, I mean, guys fanning out for threes rather than layups on fast breaks. Although, you know, at the higher level, a dunk is really kind of exciting. You know, I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
The 4-on-1 fast break to everybody out.
Yeah, everybody fans out.
I'm okay with the quick shot, right? Because I think it's also empowering, and like you said, empowering every single player to have the confidence to shoot that shot when you need them to shoot that shot. It's like maybe if you're like, play second touch, or hey, we don't want you taking that shot, but we're never going to want to take that shot again. So it's like empowering. Maybe the quick shot is the correct shot.
So this is an interesting question. So I don't know if you guys heard when we talked to Paul Trevor. I love Trev. They actually shout out to Trev. They got a nice win against the Dominicans yesterday. Stan State.
Hey.
So we were talking to Trev about teaching kids to play, not teaching them plays, and that whole adage of manufacturing. And he said, "Look, Dave, that's great, but the bottom line is, like, we don't have the horses when we're playing like a Division I team. If we just say to our kids, hey, you guys just play basketball, that's not going to work out for us. So he's like, I got to have sets, I got to manufacture. I'm paraphrasing because you got to manufacture.
Yeah.
Now there's some teams where, just look, like some of the Branson teams that you had, just you guys go and play. Peyton and that Quentin, those teams, like they could play, make good decisions. So I'm curious for you guys, like how much are you calling plays and sets and manufacturing points versus letting your teams just play and flow?
So I want to piggyback off that little conversation. First of all, every good coach needs good players, right? Again, I am a firm believer Steve Kerr could coach certain teams and never get a win just because they just don't have the players.
Well, the Warriors had 20 wins a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
Steph and Draymond were hurt. So all of a sudden, Steve Kerr's on the sheet.
Yeah, and then so on that note, on your question that you just asked, and again, love Trev. He was coaching San Bernardino when I was at Monterey, and I dropped 37 on him. So, yeah, but
From the volleyball line.
and he would.
No, they have logos at that level.
Yeah, and me and him were talking shit back and forth, and I loved it. But so, like, for me, like, there's some years I think, like, so offensively and defensively, especially in high school, because unless you get I've never had it where you have like 10 kids that are going to be together for 3 years.
Right.
You have to at some point not change your philosophy, not necessarily change the structure, and definitely do not change your non-negotiables.
Yes.
But you have to change some things. Again, so I will use last year. We had a kid that if we had to, we'd just flip him the ball and say, we need a bucket. This year, we're going to have to be a little bit more, like, run some offense, run it. But exactly. But everything's the same.
Yes.
And I always say, like, listen, first thing is, let's say it's a rebound. We run our fast break, we score. If we get a bucket, we score. If not, I give them like 10 seconds of, I call it free play, right? Where they're just kind of, because again, these kids at this level,
Reading, reacting.
has all been raised in that. So it's like a little bit of free play within a structure, nothing there, boom, pull it out, call something, and then see what happens.
And if you have a team that doesn't have anybody that can create like the clock, maybe your best opportunity is in transition with three. That could be your best look. So
Chuck it up.
Yeah. At least you get a shot.
Yeah. Zach, what's your take on how often are you calling a play versus letting your kids go?
So we get a stop, go, play,
Transition.
freedom, attack, right? Space the floor. We call it hunting, right? We're hunting our shot, whether it's with the ball, without the ball, rim running, dead ball situation. What are we in? Got to be organized, right? We're gonna win every tip this year at the start of the season or start of the game. So what are we in right away? It's like being a football coach.
Yeah.
Did last night. I looked at my team like, what are we running?
100%.
Okay. But it's the freedom empowerment. I mean, we have sets in, right? We need to be organized. We need to have floor balance. But if it's a transition, we get to stop. Like even last night we were playing Marie Creo, and they're pressing us. We're not going to call anything out because our press break is our offense, right? Hit middle and attack, and just play with freedom, play with spacing. I mean, we do it all the time in practice. Like we don't run through our sets every day in practice. We do 2-on-1 drills and Texas 21, 32, 43, 2-on-1 continuous. So I think there's a happy medium to it. And I think it's also communicating to the kids, like when we're in this situation, this is what we're expecting, rather than not telling them like, hey, Drew, you can play with freedom in the full court, and like you literally can go make a layup at any point,
right?
And not have to think about like, should we be in something or should we not be in something? So I think it's a happy medium, but I think it's the communication has to be there with your players.
Well, I had this discussion with our team at practice yesterday, actually, that we don't run offense to run offense.
Right.
We run offense to score, and sometimes when you have a lot of sets,
you're just running offense.
And frankly, like I think I remember when I was playing for you, and we would run something, I'm thinking, okay, I gotta run where I'm supposed to go, and I'm not realizing, hey, there's actually nobody guarding me. I actually probably could just go and score.
Right.
So we run offense to score, and we don't run offense. And sometimes kids, I think, need to be reminded of that.
I think it's also to the point where, as coaches, you see a set, you're like, ooh, I really like that. I can run that, right? I have the player personnel to do that. All of a sudden, right, you look at now, all of a sudden you have 20 sets in, and the kids are like, don't know 3 of them.
Right.
And actually, first year at Redwood, Emily Easton was my assistant coach, and she was becoming a firefighter, so she'd missed a couple practices, about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and we'd put a couple sets in. So then I'm texting the group like, hey, remember all these sets? She's like, why do you have so much? What are you doing? What? What was not working? And I was like, oh, I saw this set. It would be great. And she's like, that's awesome, but do everybody on the team know that, or just the simple players know that? So I think it's also that like the balance between that might look really good for us right now, but it might be too much.
Yeah, I agree. Last year at Archie, like I was tracking all our plays, and by the time we're at the end of the season, we had 2 pages. And we're not going to run any of those particularly well unless we focus on them for a day before the game. But it leads me to a question for all 3 of you. How do you teach players plays? What's most effective? Because what might work for one player is not going to work for another. So how do you, when you're putting in a play, you really want it, it's important to say, late game play, you want everyone to be able to execute it. What's the technique for making sure that everyone can do it?
He's just trying to get information for this year.
Yeah, Jay, if you can draw up your favorite 4 plays for us.
I'm kidding.
I think it's
Somebody bring the whiteboard over.
Yeah, Zach, same for me. Please.
Yeah. I think it's a healthy balance of breaking it down 5-on-0, getting repetitions, making sure every single player knows every single spot, which isn't easy, right? You have to devote some time to that. But I think it's back to simplifying how many sets you have in, right? I mean, I have a play sheet even right now, right? We're the first game of the year last night, and I wrote my play sheet down, and we have 7 sets in right now, and I looked, I'm like, we're only going to run 2 of these.
Right.
Right, unless I call a timeout, draw it up, and specifically run that, right? I even stole a play from you last night. The 2-3 zone, I ran your little special play with the screen. Kitty came off, scored 7 points out of it. So
You're welcome.
yeah, thank you. I think it's just breaking it down, 5-on-0. I think even some stuff like over the summertime, we were able to have a fall team this year, so putting some stuff in the fall, getting players repetitions in like non-stressful environments, I think are also healthy. When we're in the season, it's a grind. It's 6 days a week, and you're trying to win games. But I think in the summertime, it's a good time to teach because it's not as competitive. Everybody's in a little bit looser mood, and they can kind of be taught more stuff. I think that's part of it. And I think it's also part of the kids' preparation. Like, they got to know the sets. They got to learn them. Like, B knows every single one of our sets probably better than I know our sets.
Even though she hasn't not practiced.
Yeah. So,
Jonas, what's your take on this? I don't remember you having a ton of set plays.
No, I think I ended up the second round having a few more quick hitters.
Stevie would help you with those.
Yeah,
right?
Stevie helped me with those.
Yeah.
And we had quick hitters even with like
13.
Yeah, I would run some quick hitters for like Isaiah or or some of the bigs or something like that, and we'd have maybe multiple quick hitters for shots. It doesn't mean we use them all,
Right.
you know. We would practice them and then say, okay, this is what we're using for this night. And so like I was going through the and say, oh, gee, I forgot about that one. Right. And you know, you don't use them that night,
Yeah.
but they're there. And but another thing is that you have to then getting back to empowerment and stuff like that, because all right, if you are too set in your sets, right, and robotic and stuff like that, then teams are going to press you. They might double you. So then you have to, like, if you're being pressured and people are denying you, sometimes maybe the best play is just beat your man. If he's going to guard you 40 feet out, just go by him and make a play, right? And then
Somebody's got to help.
right, because then you have to read the game after that. But the play is go by your man if they're going to do that, right?
Yeah.
You know, and we don't say that enough. Like,
Well, we talk about this a lot, but I mean, I just loved watching the Olympic team last year, right? And when it came down to it, the bottom line, the gold medal game, they need a bucket. Kerr's got, I'm sure, 35 sets that he ran with that team. He's like, let's go here, Doug.
Guarantee you didn't
Let's
call
get-
it on that one.
Yeah,
Right.
let's get this.
Or the
two
last
best players in the
2
world.
minutes, I don't think
Yeah.
he called anything.
Yeah.
Besides that.
Just Steph and LeBron, high pick and roll, and then we know, and then you got okay. And by the way, it's funny when I was describing, we were putting in a high pick and roll for our team, right? Just like you got to have a high pick and roll,
Thank you.
right? And the kid who was in the corner, and she's standing there, and she kind of has this bad body language. She's thinking, hey, by the way, you watch the Olympics here? You were Kevin Durant.
right.
So, you know, and you over here, you were Devin Booker. So, you know, those guys are going to get shots out of this play. That's the idea of it. It's not just to isolate the two players in the action, but it's a great way to facilitate something, to your point, of just let's get something going downhill. It's a simple structure.
So this is, I don't know, random. So speaking of point guards and having your point guard run things and stuff like that, I saw a headline that said that with the retirement of Chris Paul, is the traditional point guard done? I don't know. And I thought about it and I said, maybe that's not a bad thing. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, the word traditional always changes.
Yeah, right. I mean, you know,
Right now,
So
I would
the
say
theory
Steph
being
Curry is the
a
traditional point guard.
pass first point guard.
Yeah, and a ball dominant point guard.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? I mean, it's in high school you have a ball dominant point guard because they're not going to turn it over most of the time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you have a good ball dominant,
Yeah.
right? So it makes sense.
In a previous discussion, Jonas,
Yeah.
you mentioned I like to use the phrase monoculture with the NBA, where there's something that becomes in vogue and everybody
Yeah.
runs the same thing. The NBA was a pick and roll league for decades.
Yeah.
Until really the Warriors kind of changed
Yes.
the whole paradigm with the split action and corner splits and all that
Well,
stuff.
triangle too, right?
That's a
Yeah.
great point. The triangle was the first one,
Yeah.
and then you should say San Antonio also.
San Antonio then.
Well, because isn't split action that the Warriors are running a version of the triangle?
It's essentially
offense?
the
Yeah.
I mean, the way Kerr describes it, it's like a marriage of Phil's Tex Leonard, the triangle, and then the Popovich,
Yeah.
San Antonio
Sounds pretty good to
motion,
me.
which is pretty good.
Right.
So you got to have players
Winner.
who can
Yeah.
execute it.
Right.
I'll take that. Yeah.
We also have to have Draymond Green and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and
Right, you gotta have-
Andrew Bogut, who's one of the best big man passers, right? Like you have to have players to be able to
Well, you
execute
have to
this
have
kind of
high
stuff.
IQ players, which is why maybe somebody has a knee issue right now for the Warriors.
But,
You know.
but that's like, I always loved it in high school because certain coaches or some programs that are not the best, and then they're running like that Warriors
Yeah.
stuff, and I'm like, okay, well,
Doesn't work.
there's no Draymond Green up here at the top of the key with the ball, and there's no Steph Curry running off, and so it's like, I think, I back to the topic about like sets and all that. I think a lot of times that coaches, I think we're all probably victim of it at some point, but we learned it. Again, I use it's KISS. Just keep it simple, stupid.
Yes.
Totally. And then you have as coaches, never heard KISS? No. Jesus.
Keep it
Wow.
simple, stupid.
Yeah.
I like it.
But then you have your book of, so you have your set, you have your offense, right? You have
Right.
a lot of looks, obviously counters, they switch, you slip, da 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 da. And then you have your timeout, all right, we need one. Here it is. But you obviously have to do that in practice.
Yeah, you have to rep it.
So Jay, for
so at least
Duffy
they
and
know.
Kevin, can you draw up your favorite?
I think Kevin has it.
Yeah, probably does.
Yeah. And again, I'm the old saying: every coach is a good thief.
Yeah.
I've stolen things. Rick Winter, I have a lot of stuff from him. Doug Ellen, I've had the pleasure of coaching and playing against Jonas. I've never, even as a player, I was always one watching and learning and thinking about what I wanted to do, and I take it all. There was a out of bounds play in a scrimmage we had last weekend. I was like, ooh, clip that video and get me that play. And so, whenever anybody says, "Oh, this is my offense," no, stop. Everything is from somebody.
I got a funny story about a set. So we ran a play called Quick, which was we drove it to the elbow, flare screen.
Yeah.
And last year we're running it against Sam Wren. So Reed Nottingham was an assistant coach at Drake when I was there, and we're calling it Quick. And we might have run it 7 times correctly in the game, and Reed was sitting in the stands fuming, like, what is this? So he came out after the game, he's like, I can't believe you're still running this. It's the simplest stat. It's just And so we still run it, we call it something different. I'm not gonna tell you what we call it, but it's something very, very, very simple that's worked for 20 something years.
Right.
Right? Now I'm seeing different versions of how CalStars runs it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you all know, you could have given your playbook to the opposite
Well,
coach.
people certainly knew of
They
it.
know
Yeah.
that they know what I'm running. They know what he's running. They know it's like, but it's not about that. I could call it out. I scout every team I play. I hear it. I was like, here it comes. And if you execute it, that's why it goes. In my opinion, you do have to have a coach that knows what he's doing or knows what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And you got to have the players that can then execute it.
But that's the beauty of that split action, right? Or any of those kind of motions where it's read and react. It's Jay, to your point, having players, because okay, we know this is coming.
Yeah.
We know the corner split's coming.
Yeah.
So how are we going to defend it? Okay. However we defend it, there's a counter.
Yeah.
Right? If we're doubling
Yeah.
step, if we're fighting over the top, he's going to curl it. Or he's going to
Come join us. Come
whatever.
join us. Yeah,
So
we got a tab
especially
going.
because Kevin's at MC
I
now,
know. For now.
and
Yeah.
so all my coaches, all my players, like,
Come
are
join.
you going to change the names of the plays and all that? I was like, no. It's like we're going to run it, and if they defend one thing, you can't. There's always a counter.
Right.
I'm always a believer. There's always a counter. If they could cover the entire play perfectly, then we screwed up as a team.
I've also come to the issue like, all right, so we're running a set, it doesn't work. What happens next? Right. And especially a quick hitter, right? A quick hitter's 4 seconds, 5 seconds.
Yeah,
right.
If it doesn't work,
That's a play. Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they counter that, and then it's like, what happens after that?
Yeah.
Right. That's been kind of my issue forever. Is like,
Jay's just going to shoot.
Shut it down.
that's back to what I was saying. Like, just you need to have players that are willing. Once you're open, shoot the shot.
I'm going to ask this question for our listeners. What is the difference between a play and a quick hitter?
A quick hitter is something to get a certain shot for a certain player right away. A set is something that's kind of more continuous. It can last for 15 to 20 seconds. Like a continuous ball screen offense versus a flare screen. Right? I think that's all right. I'm gonna run quick for Jay 10 times, but I'm gonna run circle. That's gonna get me, Jonas, and Jay all involved in an offense that's kind of continuous for a certain amount of time to get the look you want.
This is a crude analogy, but it's like a shot versus having a bunch of
Sure.
Whoa.
I'll take a shot.
By the way,
Quick,
we called it quick at R2 last year. Ran it
Yeah, I'm
for
sure.
Dante like 4 times a
It's,
game.
it's probably in some archive in a team room somewhere.
Jonas, I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm
The
ready for it.
NBA game changed last year, right? Like the Pacers
Yes.
changed
100%.
the whole complexion of the league. They made everybody realize, okay, you don't need to have superstars. You just need to be deep, balanced, and have a bunch of dogs who play hard.
A lot of really good players, but
So-
not well, and a couple superstars emerged for them.
Now you had Halliburton and a few guys who you need to have
But
guys
there was
who
no
can score.
guarantee that Halliburton's could be that player.
Exactly. But
You
they
know.
made it all the way to the finals.
Yeah.
So how would you assess the current state of the game? You're a shrewd watcher of the game.
Well, I think young and athletic is
Long
the way to
athletic.
go. Yeah.
Those long athletic wings.
The Warriors looked a little old the other night. And I know they were coming off a 10-day road trip and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
they looked a little old, a little slow, a little unathletic, maybe a little short.
So a team like Detroit that
Yeah.
is very young, very athletic,
And
pretty
physical.
deep, and very.
I
mean-
don't sleep on that team.
No, they're-
I think they're really good.
So that's kind of
Pistons?
Yeah.
they're really
I think they're
really
really good.
And so teams like that. So that's different than where we were a couple years ago.
Yeah, I think that's right. And there are, there're just a lot of players in that 6'4", 6'5" to 6'7", 6'8" range.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of guys out there, and you can find, and a lot of them can play. You know, they may not be superstars, but they can play. They can knock down shots. Yeah, go ahead.
And this is, it's the game, right?
Right.
Because again, I'm talking fans now that watch, I'll use Marin County basketball.
Yeah.
Like, oh, nobody goes to the post anymore, too many threes. The game has always changed and evolved. And it doesn't matter where you're at or what you're doing. If you can't evolve to that, then, you know, I think you're going to get left in the dust,
Right.
personally, right? Again, now if you're a 6'9" kid,
Move forward just a little
I
bit,
will
KK.
pound
We need to
post
get-
and pound the paint all day.
Right.
But I think that comes to, like, as a coach, you have to be willing to evolve. Don't evolve.
You have to evolve
You're
every
left.
year. I mean,
Yeah.
your
Exactly.
players
You change
change
a little
every
bit every
year.
year.
Yeah.
I look at my team. I mean, we've changed so much in 1 year, right? Less threes.
Yeah, you went from a 3-point shooting team to now you're going to be, you know, old
Even though
school
the
Twin
player
Towers.
personnel didn't really fully change, right? We lost a couple seniors, but I had those players last year.
Right.
But the way that we flowed better was that style, and so the style has changed. But you have to adapt. If you don't adapt, you're going to be
Done.
stuck, right? I mean, that's just the way it goes.
So
Go ahead.
So do you think are the actions in the NBA changing? Like is the 5 out? Is it still like
Well, they're doing zoom action, they're doing pistol, they're
still doing kind of the same stuff?
yeah, a lot of the same stuff, but they just get right into it so quickly.
Yeah.
And guys know their counters. If they've been playing together for a while and they know each other, you know. But the bottom line, push comes to shove. You got Cade Cunningham who can make a play for himself, and you got Shea who can make a play for himself, and that's still
You know what's
important late club.
By the way, like
Yeah.
so a team like Detroit is interesting, and I ask these questions because it kind of the NBA always kind of flows down to college, and then that eventually finds its way to high school. But you have a team like Detroit or Houston, these really athletic teams. It's a switching league. They can switch on anybody.
Those teams.
You can have Thompson on Detroit can guard a point guard. He can guard a center.
Well, that's why at the NBA level, I think, in my opinion, stop watching the offense, watch the defense.
Yes.
Because I'm guarding over there.
Right.
This guy will sit right here. He will not move an inch and just,
Right.
you know, up.
He's directing traffic.
Yeah. And then that's like, so Draymond Green, when he gets that, and then if they get the Curry on the 6'9" guy,
Yeah.
you'll see Draymond literally come from the opposite wing.
Yeah,
grab
they
him,
really
and
Right,
roll him.
exactly. Then they
So
switch.
my thing is, you watch the defense.
Yeah, they
'cause-
make that's a color call.
yeah,
Yeah.
because like Coach said, it's like you know what they're running.
Right.
Everybody knows what you're running. Watch the defense and see what they do.
And teams are still hunting for mismatches.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that hasn't changed.
that has
30 years.
Yeah.
You know, they're still attacking Curry.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just for a lot of reasons, to wear him out. You
Yeah.
know, get him in foul trouble maybe, or create a mismatch. I mean,
Yeah.
Portland did that all night with Danny. I mean, it's just that. I mean, but
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
And while we have you, gotta ask this question. So, you have coached or been very close to some of the top Division I players. Like AJ Devanza,
Yep.
coached him at Redwood. Was Darren Peterson at?
He was there last year.
So he's
He's
people
really
think
good.
he's going to be the #1 overall pick.
That's
If
a
he stays
Kansas
healthy.
kid?
Kansas kid.
Oh,
If he stays healthy.
So I'll talk about the stars who you've coached.
Tyron Stokes.
Where's he now?
I think he's now at Rainier Beach. He was.
Yeah, he left.
He decided to move on from Notre Dame's Sherman Oaks.
So he was the top sophomore in the country when he played
He's
for you
top
guys
senior,
for
yeah.
Redwood, right? So now he's the top sophomore.
Yeah. Right. No, it's tough though because you have DeMaestri, who's the top junior.
Who's making $7 million in a night?
At least, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, they have money.
I know.
He can play.
Yeah,
He's
he's actually done.
UConn versus that was a good game.
Real Kansas.
Yeah, he's
Good second half.
really
By the way,
good.
Caden Horst is here. Hi, KK.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
What up?
Took you long enough, Dave. Just been sitting here for like 10 minutes.
I don't know.
My goodness.
No, I mean,
Subtle.
DeMaestri looks really, really good. He's getting really good coaching too. Right? You know, the
Who's,
NBA
give me
assistant.
an NBA avatar for Devanza. Who's he going to be like?
Maybe better version of Paul George.
It's not bad.
Paul George, any good? Like pre-injury Paul George.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he was
good.
really coming into his own. And I think DeMaestri was ahead of him at that stage in Paul George's development. And stuff
How about
like that.
Peterson? What do you think?
Peterson is a man. Like going against, when he was in high school.
All right, so what's his
It was
NBA?
just-
What's his NBA?
NBA?
comp? What's his NBA avatar?
Well, Mitch Richmond-ish.
Ooh, I like it. So
Maybe not
physical,
quite as explosive.
physical 2-guard.
Yeah, but really physical. Can get his own shot.
Okay.
He can get into the paint. Once he learns to get into the paint and kick out and spray it out to the corners and stuff like that, I
D-Wade?
think he can be really good. I don't think he's quite as athletic as D-Wade, but I mean he's really physical and competitive, and I mean, he's really good. I watched him, and first of all, faced high school. I thought he was better than AJ in some ways. And when they went head to head,
Yeah.
he beat him twice. He beat AJ. One day he went for 63 against Vance.
Wow.
So you also coached against Cooper Flag.
Yes, twice.
So
And saw him play live maybe 7
how
or
do
8
you think
times.
his NBA career?
I think it's going to be really good. I think I said this to you. Maybe I haven't. He reminds me, what he is a 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", Oliver McNally.
He just plays his ass.
And he's really nasty.
That's a good
I mean,
one.
he's really, like, people respect him.
Yeah.
He doesn't back down from anybody. And he reclassified, so he really could be a freshman in college right now.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be really good.
He reclassified the correct way.
Yeah.
All
Go
right.
up.
This
I have
kid,
a-
Bruce Branch, just reclassified. He's that prolific. I think he was the #1 or #2 kid in the junior class.
Branch?
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Prolific's now in Florida, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're in our backyard.
He's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Give us, Zach, we'll start with you. Give us a basketball dime. Drop a dime, like a book, a movie, a drill, something that you, give me advice, like you're talking to a young coach.
The book Energy Bus
Okay.
talks about bringing energy, right? It talks about what it takes to be great, and it talks about, right, every time you step into that gym, right, you gotta have a certain type of energy. We actually use the phrase "jump on the bus" at Redwood, and so the book's actually in our team room. I have highlighted certain things. There's bookmarks to it, so kids take a look at it when they want to. I'll open it up and I'll read a passage from it. Obviously not the Bible, but pretty darn close.
Energy Bus.
That's a huge one for us.
All right, good one.
Or even 7 Commitments to a Great Team. These are all, I stole a lot of this stuff from Tony Ballard, to be honest with you.
You gave me or told me about the Jay Billis book.
Oh, Toughness?
That's a good book.
Great book.
I still have that book. I mean, toughness isn't flex on someone. Toughness is diving on the ground and getting a loose ball, taking a charge.
Toughness is a skill.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Playing hard is a skill.
Playing hard is a skill.
I really believe that.
Yeah, that's
it's
a
a
good
skill
one.
that you have to learn.
Absolutely.
You know.
You got a dime for us?
Yeah, so never read many books. There's two that I read.
We tried to get him into Branson. But killed his application because I had to read books. And damn it.
I think Hoop Dreams, in my opinion, movie and book is
Documentary, incredible movie.
unbelievable. It's again, two different kids. I believe they're in Detroit, Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah. Two different paths.
Yeah.
How hard it was to get to the gym sometimes, to just get shots up, all that. Other one is I think every young athlete should read Wooden. That is a very simple read. It is, there's still principles in that book that I pass on to my guys, and it's just, in my opinion, it's how, let alone being an athlete, how people should lead their lives and all that, never lie, never cheat, never steal, and then you can break all of that down. Don't steal a minute of practice, don't, all that. And I think those two books are, in my opinion, especially if you're a basketball player, gotta read them.
I quote Hoosiers. I mean, this isn't like a dime, but where they're in the championship game, big field house. Can't remember the two characters. One character gets on top of the shoulders, 10 feet.
Yeah.
Right. We reference that a lot. Like the hoop's still 10 feet. No matter where you go, 94 feet. Right.
Yeah.
They tie their shoes the same way you tied your shoes, and we talk about that in like really adverse situations. Sometimes, like it's still it's the same game. Right, nothing's changed about it. The opponent maybe changed, but the whatever you want to call it, that doesn't change. The 10 feet doesn't change. The 3-point line doesn't change. So it's just stay normal, stay consistent.
I have a question. Do you guys maybe start practice, or maybe for the week, and just have a statement or a saying, like for the week, whatever it might be? Greatness is blank, or I don't know. Do you guys do that stuff?
When we find ours.
Okay, good. No, I mean, I think it's actually
Putting KK on the spot.
I don't,
She's great.
but I
about
like it.
yeah.
I do like that.
So why KK finds hers? I put a whiteboard out every day.
Yeah.
I put the practice plan on the whiteboard. So the kids, as they walk into the gym, the whiteboard, it's projected practice plan, red and white
And you
teams.
get, oh shit, we're running today.
Yeah. We're doing double team passing today, but it allows them to kind of be a part of it, and then on that I'll write a quote, or I'll write a passage, or I'll write a focus for the day. Like our focus is jumping off the ball today, or our focus is this today. But it also gives the kids a second to kind of look at it all and breathe and kind of take in, like, this is what we're doing for practice, this is the focus, this is the quote, this is the energy bus quote, whatever you want to call it.
I told this story before, but Jonas would walk into practice with his yellow legal pad, and he'd put it down, and as we're like stretching, I go over and I kind of peel it back, look at the end of practice, and are we 2-on-2 passing, are we running sprints? Oh shit. Now I know.
I don't do suicides anymore.
I know, you still do.
I'm looking at affirmation
Yesterday.
without discipline is the beginning of delusion.
That was KK's message yesterday.
I'm gonna have to take a moment and think about that. I love this.
She's dealing with brain cancer.
But I always wonder if you were to ask those kids like 3 days later, could
They remember it?
Could they quote even like a word out of that
Yes.
message? Yes. Zach says yes. Okay.
100%.
All right. Because I've always wondered. I'd spend some time.
Maybe
thinking
not
about
all,
this, and-
maybe not all 14, but more than half.
So, yeah, we had a long standing when it was hope, dangers, comfort. And that comes from Thucydides. And so my guys,
He could play.
Yeah, he could.
Great jumper.
He tried to write some plays.
Couldn't go to his left. But,
He did try to write some tragedy plays, but ended up teaching writing a history. But no, the guys really kind of liked that one, because hope only, you have to be really sure of yourself, and you can't just hope for things to happen, okay? And so we used to have fun with that one.
That's a good one.
Okay. Jonathan Pelfrey used to laugh at that one all the time.
I kind of used to. Again, I'm not a teacher, but I always tell my kids, it's like, I understand you just went to 7 hours of school, you're in, especially nowadays, the things my kids know. Whenever I write things on the whiteboard, sometimes I'll go, Coach, you misspelled that. It's like, I didn't go to college for school, guys. You know, all that. But I tell them, I was like, I understand you were just in school for 7-8 hours. This is my class. This is, you have chosen to come out. You were, you know, it's a privilege, not a right, to be on any basketball team in high school, right? It's not the AAU where, you know, basically pay to play. And it's like, this is my class. So now you pay attention and we're learning, whatever it is. It might be a stupid little basketball set, but you got to learn it because we're going to be playing in front of people and we want to put on a show or put our best foot forward when we're in front of people. So, you know.
Well, question for you guys, you two, I guess. Jay and I have worked out our practice plan at Redwood that he goes after school, I go later.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just been our routine. I have found out that my kids perform better later rather than like coming from AP history into Jay's class, right? So they have a second to take a breather, right? To go home, eat a meal,
Yeah.
right? Digest school, and then come into my class. Because when you're in our classes, we want you to focus. So I'm intrigued to see, it worked for Jay and I's routines that he goes right after school, I go later. Right? It works for my job too, because I'm coming from Nevada. So
Yeah.
it works for multiple reasons, but Jonas, maybe for you, did you ever have a certain practice time that worked better? Did you find the kids focus better right after school, at 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock? Sometimes when it gets too late, it's too late. All right, I'm intrigued by it because this year my kids are like, oh, let's maybe go more in the middle of the day versus later, but I still like the routine of going later.
I always like going later too. I always like having the second slot.
Yeah.
And most of the time that worked out, you know, with the girls coaches. I think it's really hard for kids to go from transition and 15 minutes later they're going to be in the gym. So to counter that, well, two things happen. One, sometimes we were able to get college and ringer practice, and so that changed things. But also the counter was that we ended up having maybe a half hour, like a little time period between the end of school and then the start of the first practice. Maybe the first practice didn't start until 4.
I think we always did a half hour after
yeah,
school.
at least
that
so there
was
was at
the
least
first
some,
practice.
yeah, so the kids can, you know, they want to talk to each other, only just some downtime, maybe they can get some shots up before change, and you know, so I think, but I always like going late.
Well, okay, we got a bonus guest, KK. KK, talk about, because you've been really good about ensuring that our kids are not, like Branson's a little bit different, right? Because our kids are you, right? So discuss that.
I want to get the kids home as early as possible. And school's out at 2:55 every day. We can't start practice till 3:30.
2:55.
So they've got 35 minutes to decompress. Blocks are 80 minutes. A lot of them have free periods at the end of the day. 3:30 to 5:30 is perfect. And the kids get on the 6 o'clock bus if they have to. I mean, we have kids that live an hour away.
Yeah.
So
In the city.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't. If we go till 9, they're not home till 10. If we play the next day, it's long
That's
days.
really hard. Yeah. We actually had those guys go into like study hall to try to get work done if we had this 5:30 slot. So and that was, you know, and some kids really took really good advantage of it and got their work done, and they knew they had to get their work done because after practice, if it's late, you're getting something to eat and you just don't feel like doing any work. So the way we kind of broke it down was that if you have stuff that needs to be written out, a math homework, or some written questions in history or something like that, or a paragraph or a paper or something, do that between the end of school and the start of practice, because when you get home you're not going to feel like it, and then fake the reading.
Amen.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we could talk to you guys forever as always, but let's go to crunch time. What's your chance, Zach?
What are your
crunch time?
crunch time questions?
What are the questions?
I will give them to you.
Well, he's
Don't
looking
act
at his
like you don't
phone.
know what crunch time
That's a
is.
coach right there.
Yeah, exactly. Just wait.
Hold tight, hold tight.
Okay,
Be
Jay.
quick, but don't hurry.
Jay, you're going first. Favorite gym?
So I've listened to the podcast a lot. Favorite gym? I got to roll with Redwood. I'm a homer for Tam, but there's no shout outs ever to the Marin City Rec. I put in a lot of time.
It's a
in
first.
in that Marin City Rec.
Yeah, I love it.
I played
Yeah.
in the Midnight League. I did all that. Again, most people would not say it's the best,
Right.
but when that thing is packed, it might only be 100 people.
Yeah.
They talk about right on top of you. They are right on top of you.
That's awesome. That's a great answer.
I got one more for court.
Okay.
That's Stinson Beach Court.
Oh yeah, for sure.
4-on-4.
Good call.
Yeah.
You got to
with you
designate
on
if
that.
you're going out of bounds to shoot that corner three. I spent hours
Jay,
at
do you
that gym.
I
Or
don't
at
know
that
if are
court.
guys still going out there? Because I know you're great, and Isaiah used to go out there
Oh,
too.
we used
the
to
Tampa
go-
guys were out there all the
So
time.
hey, wait a minute. So this is not a plan. I don't know if you guys follow the Run TMC podcast on Instagram.
I did see it. I did.
Oh, that was.
But that was not-
the hoop of the day yesterday.
Yeah.
Shout out to Alon Rotam.
Oh.
Our friend Alon.
That court.
He sent a picture of that court,
Yeah.
and I played on that court. It's great. That was our hoop of the day.
We would go out 10 a.m. to about 5 p.m.
Yeah,
walk
that's
up to
great.
the market, grab 40, head out to the beach.
Good
and
answers.
just chill.
Okay, Zach. So this is gonna be interesting because I'm gonna preface this. You went to Drake.
I did.
Coach at Redwood.
Yes.
How are you gonna answer this question?
Well, I'm gonna answer it like Jay did. I'm gonna give you like 7 answers.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna hedge your bets.
So I'm going Pavilion in Fairfax.
Fairfax.
Right, as many.
Mike Fulton.
Yeah, Alex Purple. Right, he talked about it at length. I mean, Alex and I listened to Alex's podcast, and it was like my childhood. Right, it was the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Just it was in Alex's shoes. So Pavilion 1. I'm also going to shout out White Hill Middle School. Right.
Quick pavilion question. If you're playing pavilion in the wintertime and it's raining, how many trash cans are you using
To collect the rain.
That's the same as Redwood.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
actually true.
that's true.
We're gonna
That's still
go
leaking?
over under 4. Over under 4.
Unbelievable.
I'm going White Hill, and then I'm going Woodacre Outdoor Courts.
Okay.
Again, 4-on-4.
Heavy West Marin answer.
That's from Fairfax. So.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to tie with Archie and Redwood. Drake and Redwood.
Jonas.
But I will say this: I probably had my best high school league at 10.
Really?
You were there, but John Jay was on the team.
He was good. That was my
That was his junior year.
Tam is the lighting legend.
Well, Tim used to have, like, so now it's set. They used to have
It's really dark.
They used to have the 3 movable bleachers, so it would
Yeah.
be the bowl,
Yeah.
and it used to be.
Right on top of it.
Oh my God! Yeah. So you're taking it out. You're kicking somebody trying
Right.
to get it in. But yeah.
Listening to your player podcast, no one liked Redwood because it's too dark in there.
Yeah, that's right. Except Brooke. Brooke like Brooke.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, Jonas, what's your favorite gym?
Well, College Marin and Redwood. I guess we just won so many championships. No, I'm kidding.
So much success.
What a dick.
You did. Hey, you did.
Okay.
You're not lying.
Good place to
Yeah.
play. I mean,
All right.
first of all, a lot of folks, good packed gym, just a lot of energy.
Totally. I mean, the
That
memories.
Redwood gym is packed. It's
Yeah, it's really
special.
a lot of fun.
It's just
Redwood gym
very
is a
fun.
special
You
place.
got the end zone bleachers is what makes it, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But the history of the Archie Williams gym
Well,
We just had
history's
our
unbelievable.
Pirate Camp 50-year anniversary the other
Yeah.
day. There's a lot of legends in that. It was fun to be in there.
Archie is a 2 trash can gym, by the way.
That's right. Archie had some moisture issues in the rain last year. Okay. Jonas, we already asked you these questions. So, Zach, let's start with you.
Jack
Best
Rabbit.
player
We can ask-
you've
hey.
ever.
Wow.
Dave, I have a quick break. First of all, there's a near accident here, and then we have.
Hi, Rebecca.
Come on,
Hey,
Rebecca,
I'm not
please.
getting on. No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Hi,
Does
Rebecca.
anyone want any beers or cider?
Thank you for
or
hosting us. Rebecca from the
waters?
Hub is here.
I will do one more Pilsner.
Pilsner?
I'll do the one.
Sure.
No, I'm good. Thank
Two
you.
Pilsners?
Two Pilsners and
Thank
a,
you so
and
much.
a Jack
Yeah.
Rabbit.
Dave,
And
anything?
Dave?
I'm okay. Thank you, Rebecca. Good to see you. Okay, Zach, best player you've ever coached?
Best player I've ever coached? I don't know if I can answer that. Coached a lot of good players. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with a lot of good players.
All
of them.
Okay. How about best player you've ever coached against?
In high school? Coached against a lot of them. Maybe KK. Grayson Levette. Kylie Horsmeyer. Jenny Walker. Some good players on my staff.
Good. Okay. I think I know the best player you've coached. Who's the best player you've coached against?
NYU.
Probably the same.
So first of all, yeah. So first of all, love them all, but by far, I mean, TT Carr it was unbelievable to have him on my side. And then I would probably have to go Jace and TT.
I was gonna say you also coached against him.
Yeah, Jace and TT. That was one of the first things I told him.
Yeah.
God, can't wait to see you in a Redwood uniform.
Yeah.
But again, it's like I talked about that Clovis West team. They had that. Oh God, I forget. I don't know his name.
Oh, the coach's son.
Or I coached against Clovis North.
Oh, Clovis North,
with
that was right.
Amundsen.
Yes, that's who I was.
Those kids were good.
Yeah.
But then Clovis West had this other kid. Oh man, I don't know his name, but he was really good. But if we keep it just a low, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
having to like have a plan for kids like Jason TT that's just one where it's like, all right, here's what we're going to try to do, and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Got them 1 year, and again, when they came of age, it was, and then, but yeah, having him on my side was fun. I'll say that much.
All right, Jonas. New crunch time question for you.
Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
You're starting. There's an expansion NBA team. The Mill Valley Marauders. I don't know whoever that. Who's coaching your expansion NBA team?
Oh, that's a good question.
Thank you.
I don't know. Do you go with an NBA assistant,
I don't know.
or
That's the one question.
yeah, or do you go with a veteran, like when Hughie took over from Memphis?
You're building a new team. What do you want to do?
I mean, I don't know. That's a really good question. You want a name? I don't know if I can give you a name, but
Initials.
no,
KK.
Yeah,
We'll go with
KK.
KK.
Yeah,
KK's sitting right here.
KK,
She's
you know,
waiting.
I can go with KK. I don't know, David. That's really hard to say. I think that maybe what you do is that you want to make sure that you have a staff that can develop players. You know, that's really into player development. The way OKC has done it.
Okay.
Like if you really look at OKC, they keep it pretty simple.
Yeah.
You know, they have a superstar. But the rest of the guys, they just play a certain way. You know, ball fake, 2 dribbles in the paint, kick out, shoot it, or whatever. I mean, they just
Totally.
Dave,
They
he
defend.
didn't answer the question, by the way.
So I don't know. I don't know if I have a guy.
They both
They're
or a
running
person.
politics.
Yeah. But I will say this, Duff. OKC won game 5 last year in the NBA Finals and made only 4 threes in an NBA game and won. Think about that. How's that happen today?
That's a shock.
How did they win that game?
Shocking. A lot of free throws, probably.
I guess I don't know.
Grittiness.
It was in the 80s or 90s. Like it was a low-scoring game for
I don't
some
think-
reason.
I
All right.
think Indiana played that well.
All right.
Yeah.
Same question for you.
Repeat the question.
Who would be? You're starting your own expansion NBA team. Who would be your coach? Or WNBA team?
WNBA like that.
I think we're going to have to revise this crunch time question a little bit, Dave.
Sorry.
Development.
This is
It's a stumper.
It's
not
good.
so crunchy.
I'm gonna go with Jenny Walker.
Okay.
She's coached my team. She's on my staff, so she's coached my team.
I like it.
Do I get it?
Yeah.
Jonas.
Oh,
Kind of.
No, I think
Please.
Saving you're a little
Oh,
scary.
no,
you know.
stop. Yeah, no chance, no doubt about it.
I'm not kidding. John, you could have coached the NBA.
I don't know. honestly, I don't know. I mean, it's just completely different personalities. Like, those guys are. I don't know. Yeah, do I have enough ego for those guys?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
I don't know. It's
Maybe.
interesting. It's not always trained.
Maybe.
I mean, Mike Montgomery was a great college coach.
Yeah.
At my alma
And he
mater,
could
and
not
he went to the
handle it.
Warriors, and it was a disaster.
It's a complete disaster.
That was a bad trade on my end for both because my college team suffered and my pro team suffered.
I
Right?
think that's his.
Yeah.
That is
Okay.
true, though. You got to be able to
Yeah.
hold your own with those.
You really
guys.
do.
Yeah.
Kerr is he's really good at building those off the court bonds with those guys.
Yeah.
And that matters.
Yeah, I think it really. Yeah. Like, who else do you think could have dealt with Draymond and gotten the best out of Draymond? Other than, I mean, there are a lot of people who were just really.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah.
How do you think Popovich would have handled Draymond?
I don't know.
Because Popovich is one of my favorite. Like my favorites, Spoelstra. I think Spoelstra probably could have figured it out. Although Spoelstra and Jimmy didn't
What
work
is that
out.
the story with
I think
Spoelstra and
Kurt-
LeBron? Didn't he struggle with LeBron at first?
He did. So it's hard.
I
Like
think the Curry factor is a thing.
You're
Because
right.
again, it's
You're
like
right.
it's use high school kids. The adult telling one kid or yelling or being on him. If you got the kid
Brother.
or the player that kid's
Teammate, yeah.
like, hey, listen, like,
This is
don't,
what he
don't-
needs.
like, don't listen.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, you know.
But
So
he-
I think the Curry effect is with that a real thing.
That's a great point.
I think they would.
And if there was the common denominator between Kerr and Draymond, is that they're both really competitive and they both really like to win.
Yeah.
And so you can build on that and then just sort of like, okay, how do we?
Right.
And remember, Kerr did play with Rodman. So
Exactly. Very, very true.
You know, it's not everybody's Tim Duncan.
Gave him a nice little week off in Vegas.
By the way, I mean, yeah, you look at Kerr's coaching experience, like the guys he played for.
Yeah.
Phil, Popovich, played with Jordan and Rodman,
Well, it's college coach.
Tim Duncan. Yeah. Lute Olson. I mean, pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. Always the most important question. Zach, favorite restaurant?
Anywhere or in Marin?
Yeah, anywhere? Marin? Anywhere in
Usually
the
it's
world?
Marin.
What do you? It's
Duffy's
Marin.
gonna
guys get
Duffy's gonna
Lucid
pick some
season
place
3.
in Paris,
Yeah,
you know.
Marin.
So my question
Michelin
is,
3-star.
It doesn't
Someday
exist
I'll be a
anymore.
guest on the
Lima,
podcast.
Peru,
yeah.
Ricardo's.
Oh, is that the same one that Reed said?
Yeah.
In San
Ricardo's.
Anselmo?
San Anselmo. Oh my gosh. I can't even speak to how good that I know. Ricardo's. I would say right now Fratellizio's in Fairfax.
Oh, that's good.
Old school.
Italian. Jay?
Favorite one, I call it a birthday restaurant because I can't go there on my own. Village Sake in,
Oh, love it.
in
Fairfax.
Fairfax.
Mm,
My
okay.
most attended one though, shout out to Matt Smalls at
Oh, State
State
Room. Small
Yeah.
back. We love you, Matt.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Village Sake,
Okay.
really good.
John?
Well, I mean, obviously it was Joe's at one time, but
It's coming back, right?
yeah, I don't know. They say it is. I mean, do you really believe it's going to come back?
So, is it true? Would you go to Marinjo's after
Yes.
games?
Yeah. Zach, would we go? Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
You sit by the bar, or where would you sit?
No,
At
get
the table?
something to eat. Yeah. Yeah, I got a table.
Zach,
I'd have a.
Yeah. What's your post game?
After a big win. Every game or after a big win?
No.
Just
After
just
big game.
eat MC.
Or
you
a Lost
go to
MC.
Marinjo's, or Lost
Yeah.
MC. You're going to Marinjo's.
Uh-huh.
What do you
For sure.
Like, what's your meal?
Well, I mean, probably one of the salads, unless I was wanted a burger or whatever.
I
But I
was about to
usually
say,
do a
bad.
burger.
The burger was
you
good.
know, but then I always had, one drink.
You let loose. You
Frozen
let loose.
margarita. I did. Zach, is that true?
I plead the fifth.
Joe's had frozen margaritas.
Yeah.
No, they made it for me.
They made them for Jonas.
They did.
They're like, hey, we got to buy a blender because Jonas wants a frozen margarita.
Extra
KK,
rice.
KK, favorite restaurant?
I don't know.
What do you got?
Kachina, San Anselmo.
Ooh.
Convenient for Branson. All right, you guys, this was awesome. Thank you so much for all of your thoughtful responses. Thank you for your support of the podcast over the years. You guys are listeners. You now have shirts. Congratulations. big one.
Made it.
And good luck this year to you two, Jonas. You're just a watcher of the game. Are you coaching
Yeah.
anywhere?
No, but
You're
I'm
available?
gonna see. Yeah, I am available.
New York
right?
Liberty assistant.
No, hardly.
Yeah, we've alluded to it. Let's shout out Chris DeMarco, Marine
Yes.
guy, Dominican grad, great player, been a Warriors assistant for many years, was just named head coach of the New York Liberty. Congratulations
It's
to Chris.
really big to do.
It's a
That's
it's a
a
huge
massive,
deal.
Massive
He's coaching
job.
Sabrina Ionescu.
She's a free agent though.
Yeah, they're all
Stewie.
free agents. Let's
Yeah,
see.
that's
what
true.
happens.
Might come to Valkyries. Never know.
That'd be amazing. But congratulations to Coach DeMarco. We've thought about having you on this podcast for years, and now your stock has gone up, and now you're very hard to get. So we'll try.
Missed our opportunity.
Free beers won't get them.
Free beers with my heart.
Maybe.
But seriously, thank you guys. Really appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll send this to you.
Great job.
Offensive
Appreciate it.
Pacing.
Oh,
Great job. We need to take a picture.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Take it.
yep.
Oh, yay!
Oh, I'll send this to you.
Okay.